Hello, listeners. Welcome to today's episode of the Naked Coach Collective. As you may notice, if you are watching on YouTube, we are not a collective today. I am flying solo. Ian and we are both poorly, so I wish them well. I wish speedy recovery because I don't know if I can do this on my own, but I'm going to give it a go. So today's just me, and I'm going to be talking to you all about cognitive behavioral coaching. So let's dig in. Now, obviously, I don't have anyone to bounce off, and I am a little bit nervous actually, but I'm just going to go with it, face your fears and do it anyway and grow. So I have made some notes. I will be looking at notes. No, that's not our normal way of doing things here at the Naked Coach Collective. We just fly by the seat of our pants normally, and there will be a bit of that going on. So if I'm going on a bit, just let me know. All right, so here we are, cognitive behavioral coaching. And what is it? Well, the stem is from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. I'm sure a lot of you have heard the term. You may not necessarily know what it involves, but the breaking it down, so cognitive is your thought patterns of your mind, behavior, obviously what you do, and the therapy is to help you to make those two things work together to give you a better outcome. So with therapy, you are likely to have a mental health issue, and there are many. So there are many that CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, helps with, and depression, anxiety, anxiety, uh, ADHD, addictions. All right, okay, brain dead there for a moment, but we're working on that. Now, the difference between that and CBC, cognitive behavioral coaching, is that coaching is helping you to optimize where you are now, which may not be from a place of mental ill health. So you could be running a perfectly happy life thinking there's a little bit more, or you may have an issue, a particular issue, imposter syndrome in your work, or anxiety about starting a new project, or a relationship with somebody that isn't going quite how you wanted it to go, maybe a friend, a partner, a relative. And where CBC can step in here is it can help you to think about what the situation is, what your feelings about that situation are, and thinking about how that would lead to your behavior. So when you think your thoughts regarding, for example, a fight with a partner, a row with your partner, this will bring thoughts to your mind. And where CBC plays in is that it starts to let you think about, spend time analyzing how that makes you feel and how that's going to determine your actions. So it's a triad. It's that, the thoughts and feelings and actions triad here. So your thoughts will determine how you feel, and how you feel will determine your actions. So what happens is we start looking at your thoughts on a particular problem, issue, concern. And from there, we have a set form, but obviously we work that individually for everyone. The framework is there. And go on to think about how you can have better outcomes in that situation. So the difference between the CBT, the therapy, and the CBC, the coaching, is that where therapy starts from a place of dysfunction in a certain, to a certain degree, and aims to get you to a level of functionality of coping. Coaching will start you at a level of coping. You'll be at functioning, you'll be at doing okay. But what we want with the coaching is to get you to optimum, get you to that place that is, you can get to, and it's your best, it's doing your best in every situation. So that's where the coaching comes into play. So I hope that's clear. Right, okay, let's have a look. So the kinds of things that coaching can, CBC, cognitive behavioral coaching, I'm not going to say that again, it's CBC, guys, get used to it, can help you with are everyday situations that you might find yourself in, such as how you assert yourself. And so you might think of a certain situation and you feel like, oh, you're not asserting yourself like you'd like to. You're not presenting yourself how you'd want to be seen. Another thing is, potentially you are procrastinating. And why are you procrastinating about doing something? Do you have a fear of failing? Do you have a fear of success? It might help you with imposter syndrome. So, with the CBC, we can work through that. Look at your places where you are actually doing what you think you're not doing. So we can dig into that. Your confidence. You have a certain level of confidence with a situation, and you want to improve that, but you're not sure quite how. So CBC can help you deal with this sort of thing. So there's quite a lot that CBC can help you with. And certainly in psychotherapy and with CBT, it is used for a huge variety of ailments. And obviously, it's not a cure-all method. There will be times when it doesn't work, and we will need, then, especially in coaching, then there are lots of other frameworks you can use as well. Right, so I thought it might be quite a good idea to, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. Right, okay, let me give you some background. Okay, listeners, let me give you some background. When I was planning this podcast for you, I had Ian and B in mind to be my coachees, if you like. So I was going to offer a group coaching session on the podcast, so as listeners you could see how it might work. Now, obviously, the two of them being poorly at the same time doesn't help me very much, and obviously I wish them well, but I've kind of adapted it a little bit, and I think, if you're willing, why don't I have a go at doing some coaching with you? Okay, so you're listening, you're thinking, oh my God, she's talking to me. Yes, I'm talking to you. So if you want to get involved, perhaps you're a coach, you're in training, or you're a new coach, or you are somebody who just wants to achieve something, a different behavior or outcome in a certain aspect of your life right now. So I'll give you a minute, just have a think about a situation at work, something you want to ask for more responsibility. Maybe you're struggling with a communication issue with a friend, or you've done something that you're not that particularly pleased with. Any kind of situation, have a little think, and let's see if we can do some live coaching. Oh my goodness. Right. Would be a great idea for you to grab a pen and paper. So pause me if you must, and unless you're driving, obviously, and grab some paper and a pen, because the act of writing is, for me, and maybe I'm old school. Yes, I'm definitely old school. But for me, writing something down certainly helps me to visualize, because I'm definitely a visual thinker, to visualize as the words go down, and it brings pictures in my head, and makes things flow. So if you can do it that way, great. If you need to write it on the computer, that's great. If you're just going to have a little think about what I say and come back to it later, that's also absolutely fine. Of course it is. Right. So let's find my notes. Here we go. So think about, so this, just for clarity, this is a very quick demo with you, my dear listener, as I'm speaking to you, to just have a little experience of CBC and see if it can give you some, just a little bit of a lift for today, even just to start off. Obviously, CBC coaching CBC is not something that happens in one session generally. Well, it can do, but it can take a few sessions. There's homework to be done. It's as I say with coaching, don't expect to have your coaching session, go away, forget about it, come back the following week and things will have changed, because you need to do the work in between. So this is just a guide to get you going, right? So here we go. Think about a situation, an event that's happened or something that's coming up. Actually, very importantly as well at this point, so another distinction between CBT and CBC. With coaching, we're looking forward. We're looking at now and we're looking forward, and we are looking to improve what's coming for us. And therapy, traditionally, it will also include a lot of looking back and dealing with the past. But here we're looking forward. So think about a situation that is playing on your mind, and picture it, visualize it, get it going in your head. Where is this happening? Who are the people involved? Got that? So you can also, at this point, you can also think about maybe what's led up to this situation. So if you're thinking about an argument you've had or a discussion that's about to happen, in work or something, think about what leads up to this situation. Get a full picture in your head. This is quite tough because I've got no feedback, but here we go. So start thinking about your body, what it feels like. Is it loose? Is it tense? How's it doing? Just get the whole big picture in your head. So now I want you to think about, what are the first thoughts that come into your mind about the situation? Write it down. Write it down. Are there any images, pictures? Did it draw on any memories? What's it making you think? Maybe you think you're angry. Maybe you think you're lonely. Okay, so that's, pause me if you need longer to think, but just about your thoughts, keep it to thinking. So at this point, you're saying, well, I think that that person shouldn't have said that. Or I think that when I said that, well, I was probably angry or distressed or something. So it's starting with thoughts, that this is what you're thinking. And some of these thoughts, well, a lot of these thoughts will be automatic. So they'll just pop into your head and you can just grab your pen and just write them down as they do. And remember, as with coaching, and always in coaching, there's no wrong answers. Nothing is wrong. And it's highly individualized. Okay, so now you've written down a few of your thoughts. You've had these thoughts pop into your head. Now, what is it making you feel? What are these thoughts making you feel? So I think that person was wrong to say that to me. It makes me feel angry. It makes me feel unheard. It makes me feel sad. What does it make you feel? And while you're thinking that, so imagine you need to put it on a scale, a 0 to 10 scale. Are these emotions? Are you feeling angry at a 10? Is it a heightened sense of anger, or are you feeling sad at, well, maybe a 3 or a 4? It's not really bothering you that much. So and that's absolutely fine too, because remember, we're going from a place of a place of coping to a place of optimizing the best that we could do, be, see, have. So how does it make you feel? And now we're rating that 0 to 3. I feel anger at a level of 9, 2, whatever. All right, okay. So we've had the situation. We've thought about what the thoughts that come to our mind. We've thought about our emotions. Okay, so now let's really look at the reality of it, the evidence that is there. So your situation is you've had an argument with someone you care about. And what is the evidence? What really happened? Why did they say what they said? Think about the things that will support your feelings and your thoughts. So if you're angry, the evidence is that they said something like this. Or the evidence is maybe dig a bit deeper, something you did a little while ago, and that's bringing up anger in you because it's saving you from feelings of shame or frustration or self regret, or self, and there's a lot of reasons why you might feel angry, but let's really think about why. So what evidence do you have that supports those thoughts of sadness, those thoughts of fear, those whatever those were? What is there? What in reality happened? Okay, so you've done a lot of work so far, obviously whizzing through this, but I think if you're um if you're still with us, if you're still with us now and you've thought about evidence that supports how you think and how you feel and how you thought about that situation, can you now, and this is the tough bit, can you now think about any evidence that disclaims your thoughts? Actually, well, they said that, but they were probably thinking XYZ, something different to what you've made yourself cling on to for some reason up until now. Where's the evidence? What's the reality? And I know, and in coaching, we know, your reality is what your own personal reality, and two people will see a reality of a situation in, we'll see a situation in two different realities, quite possibly. So it's still personal, still about you. And obviously, you're not sharing this with anyone. This is just between you and yourself and you and your coach. But what evidence is there actually to say that what you were thinking is probably not correct? Indeed, is there any? So once you've had a little think about that, and it might not be very easy to do, go on to think about any alternatives. So you've thought about the reality of and the evidence of why you think that way, and evidence to say, well, why you don't. Potentially, there may or may not be some. Now, I want you to think about any other explanations or any other ways of looking at the situation. And now think about, well, what other alternatives are there? Especially going forward, you've had the row with somebody you care about. So going forward, what could you now do with the understanding of everything that you've been through in this session so far? What could you now do to make the next encounter different, better, optimum, best? So here we start thinking about reframing, and with the Naked Coach Collective podcast, you will know reframing is one of the best things that we love to do. So there's a lot of reframing going on. So now you can use what you've learned to reframe the situation and to use that knowledge going forward into the next time of the situation and make something that has been unhelpful in the past or in that situation that you had become flip it around and become positive and helpful in the future. So, for example, you're having a coffee with the friend you had a row with later. So, how can you diffuse it? How can you make the next encounter with that person different and better? You may still have the same underlying problem between you. So, what can you do to deal with that? So as coaches, we will encourage our clients, and I'm encouraging you to think about alternative options to change how you think, how you feel, and ultimately your behavior going forward. Okay. So that was a teeny tiny bit of coaching, and I hope you joined in. If not, listen again and have another go. Be prepared. Think about something you want to change and grow from, a negative thought, a stressful thought, a painful thought, and listen again. Listen again, and go through the process. So, oh gosh, let me check my notes. What have I forgotten? Probably loads and loads, but it is what it is. This is a little snippet. CBC, cognitive behavioral coaching. As you know, I'm Darshana Qureshi. Everyone calls me D around here. I absolutely love what I do. These podcasts that I bring to you with my wonderful Ian and B are make me feel really happy. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please do drop us a line and let me know. And you can contact me for chat if you think that doing some coaching work with me would be good. Let's just have a chat. And I'm on contact@dashnaqreshi.com. You can, I know that's a plug. Yes, it is. Right. Also, please do like and share and subscribe to our channel, because we love serving you with our coaching nuggets, and I really hope that you are enjoying listening to what we have. So first solo, flying free, and I will be getting the other members of the gang to do it as well at some point. So Ian B, if you're listening to this now, which I hope you are, your turn is coming soon. Right. So until next time, everyone, be there, be, see, I can't even do it myself. I always say be there and forget the rest. So be there, be bare, and be naked. Lots of love.